Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm Robert with the Hustle Nation here. We're all about side hustles and doing better, getting or not so much as getting, but going after the life that we want. You know, a life so good that we don't have to take a vacation. We enjoy what we do every day. So I've done that myself with, I've had a number of businesses. I've been self-employed for about, 8 years. Matter of fact, it was an anniversary a couple of days ago, 8 years of not getting a paycheck from somebody, so to speak. So it's been a good run for me. I've enjoyed it. I'm in a situation now due to rental properties that I work as much or as little as I want. And, that's a freedom like no other, so to speak. But one thing that's happened recently, finished reading this book right here. It is absolutely fantastic. One of the things that's become, that I'm working on myself is that I have 5 properties that are not rented. The reason they're not is because I bought them as fixer-uppers, okay? And I've had a bad habit as far as buying properties, and I love negotiating them, I love finding them, I love purchasing them, and then I move on, okay? And the thing about it is that I'm a hunter by nature, okay? I am a go-getter, no doubt about it. The problem with that is that when you don't have a plan and a schedule to get them going, then you end up starting to stack them, okay? And it's real difficult for me to not grow the portfolio, so to speak, but my mind tells me that the more doors you have, the better off you are, and that's not true. The more cash flowing doors you have, the better off you are. And so what I've been doing is basically not making any real moves. I did buy a house 3 months ago. I'm in contract to sell it. We should be going to closing probably like Monday or Tuesday next week. You know, I'll make some money on it. The thing about it is just getting out of this whole wealth game, basically life, okay? This whole life game is having to do with ego and emotions, and that's it, okay? Tony Robbins said it one time, every decision that you make comes down to only 2 outcomes. You're either seeking pleasure or you're trying to avoid pain, and that's it, okay? And really, when you really look at it, that's exactly it. Every decision, okay? And all I can figure is that it is emotionally painful for me to stop doing what I do and get those properties up and going when I purchase them, as opposed to I love being able to tell you, well, I got X number of doors. Well, the problem with that is that yes, I do, okay, but it's somewhat deceitful in the sense that, not all of those are rented and not all of those are cash flowing. And I don't have a plan to get them going, but I do now. Okay, and I have been, and this is what I've been working on since the beginning of the year, and this is coming with working with what we call an accountability coach, okay, because there is nobody that stands behind me and says, this is what you need to do today, this is your assignment, this is it. I'm the guy that does all of that, okay? I got one employee, she's absolutely fantastic, but there's nobody, if I wake up late and I don't go to work, oh well, I didn't make it to work, okay? She still shows up, she still does her thing, she knows what's up. So then it's a situation where if nothing gets, or if I don't do anything, then, it's not that the show stops, so to speak, it's that we just don't make a whole lot of progress. Her job is basically doing sheetrock, painting, electrical, home repair, all that kind of stuff and everything. My job is doing that kind of stuff at times, but then also running the business, making sure properties are rented, doing inspections. I've been doing that this month, all kinds of stuff. And so then the problem becomes is that, you're working on the business or you're working in the business. Well, thing about it is that with rental properties, you have got to inspect your properties, okay? And it is truly all about the numbers. I was talking with a friend of mine last night. We were on the phone for an hour and a half, and The biggest expense that we have is what we call turnovers. When somebody moves out, somebody moves in, vacancies. That's the killer. That is the rental property killer, is vacancies, okay? And if you take, way too much time, a week, 2 weeks to get a property turned around so somebody else can rent it, well, you've lost half a month's worth of rent. Well, here's the thing is that if you only, we'll just say, you rent it for $1,300 a month, but taxes, insurance, payment, and everything comes to, we'll say $900, okay? Well, if you lose, a month's worth of rent, that means you have to rent it for at least 2 months to make that up. Not profitable, but just to make it up. So then you've lost 20% of a year almost. You do that over 30 years, that's a huge chunk of change. We set a record this year is that quickest turnaround I've ever had in 22 years, we did it in 8 hours. Somebody moved out in the morning, we had it freshened up, and somebody moved into it that evening. It happens, but it's rare. You got to have processes in place. You got to have a system. You got to have resources. We're at the point where I've got dump trailers, so I can just back up. We can unload if anything's been left over or anything like that. We kind of got a system that when you go in, everything works in a clockwise motion. It works for us. Okay, it's that. We got it fine-tuned to a certain degree. Always room for improvement, that's for sure, okay? So, pardon me. This whole mindset thing. And when you're talking with people, I'll give you an example. I was at Chinese buffet, and there was this really good-looking lady. At the buffet getting some food, so I went up there and I asked her, I said, "You're very beautiful. Are you seeing anybody?" And she said, "Yes, I am." I said, "Thanks, have a good day." And I walked off. And my buddy was there and he was like, "What did you just do?" And I said, "I was about to ask her out." "You didn't?" I said, "No, I asked her if she was seeing somebody." She said, "Yes." "My God, man, you don't even know that person." And I was like, "And?" "Well, aren't you worried?" And I said, "You're more worried about failure and rejection. I'm worried about regret." Because I'd be worried about, for 2 hours after we left, what would have happened if I had asked her out. And the thing about it is that I meet people all the time that tell me about, I'm going to start a business. I'm thinking about doing this, And unfortunately, what does everybody want to do? They want to start an LLC because it sounds good. It's emotionally satisfying. It looks great. And guess what? I can tell you, I got an LLC. No LLC has ever made anybody any money. None. The person behind that LLC or employees behind it, they'll make some money. But no LLC by itself, once you create it, put it in the corner, and then get back to me and tell me how much money it's made. Zero, okay? Again, it's emotionally satisfying. Once you start to analyze your ego and your emotions on how they play, this wealth game will get a lot easier, and having the life that you're looking for will become a lot easier. That guy I was talking to last night on the phone, he's got about 75, 80 properties. The hardest thing for him and I to do is not to be on our tools. Not to do work. And granted, I'm an owner-operator, okay? And at this point, I'll still be doing it because this is what's got me to the point that I'm at. The thing, though, is that if you really scale something and get it to a huge amount and everything, you're going to have to get employees, and then you're going to have to manage them. And that is the most difficult thing to do is to point when you have the broom and there's dirt on the floor, you're going to want to sweep it up immediately, okay? And just as my buddy told me last night, there's a bottom of a drawer in a kitchen that's fallen out. I can go over there, glue it back in place, and save myself $120. Or I can call somebody and they'll go over there and do it, and it'll cost me $120. Me doing it and saving that $120 has got me where I'm at. And me doing it like that has got me where I'm at as well. At some point, though, you have to understand this is the noose around my neck, and I have to start doing things differently. And that is probably the most difficult thing for anybody to get through, is to understand that the way that we do things, the way that we view things, the way that we think things should be, will only get us to a certain level, okay? And if you look at people that are like way ahead of you, people that you want to trade places with, that, you know, like in my instance, for example, you know, people that got 100 houses, 200 houses, 300 houses, you know, they have crews, they have teams, they have people that are in positions that have specific job duties, tasks that are, you know, and you're going to have to motivate these people. You're going to have to lead these people. You're going to have to, you know, account for these people. You know, you're going to have to be the person that's, hey, you know, I haven't seen you clock in for 10 minutes. Are you okay? Are you coming? Are you laying out? Did you find another job? You know, all those kind of things, okay? And so there's a lot of things that are just not emotionally satisfying, but you're going to end up having to do those things, or you're going to have to hire somebody to do those things for you. I'll give you an example. I hate QuickBooks with a passion, okay? I am not that guy whatsoever. I hire bookkeepers to take care of that stuff for me. I don't do it myself, okay? I don't look forward to it. I'd much rather get a hangnail removed than sit there for 2 hours putting that stuff into the computer, okay? I'm never going to do it. I paid somebody $150, and this is like 12 years ago, for 2 hours of their time to show me how to do it, how to set the books up and everything like that. I never did anything afterwards. And it's like, dude, you hate this. You hate this with a passion. You can't afford to pay somebody else. Go ahead and do it. You know, it wasn't emotionally satisfying to me, you know. So my whole thing about this video today is to really take a introspective look at yourself and say, what is it, how is it that my emotions, how is it that my ego is getting in the way, you know? Because I'll tell you the first thing, and like, there's a guy that let me take you to lunch. So we go to lunch and we're talking, and he asked me, he said, you know, what would you do differently with what you know today if you're just starting out? And I said, I'd get a mentor, somebody that's professional, and I paid them. That's what I would do and everything. Oh, well, you know, I think I can figure it out myself and everything. And I was like, you know, we all do, okay? If you're going to be an entrepreneur, a hustler, an opportunist, you got to be narcissistic to a certain degree, have some kind of ego as well. And, you know, and so then it came up 3 or 4 more times and everything. And he was like, well, I bet you do that. Yes, I do. Okay. If you want to know, you want to hire me, send me an email, we'll talk. But I told him, I said, look, I'm not going to mentor you, even if you give me $1 million. I will not mentor you, okay? Don't worry about it. I'm not trying to sell you on me. Get a fucking mentor. Really? I said, yes, do it. That'll be the thing that will catapult you the quickest in the shortest amount of time, guaranteed, okay? A couple things about that is one is that, you know, I've been doing this game for 22 years, okay? You get 22 years worth of knowledge, and then you get my network. If you don't think I got some contacts to get some things done quickly or cheaply, think again, because I do. And you're buying into that when you get me as your mentor, okay? And I'm not saying that to try to sell you. I'm saying that to understand that when you get someone, that's part of what you're getting, but most people are only thinking about what's, you know, basically what's right in front of them. They don't understand all this stuff behind them, you know. I told the guy about buying a house for $12,000. I told the guy about buying a house for $5,000, and he's like, man, how do you do that? And I said, I got 22 years in the game. Well, no, I'm asking exactly, really, how did you do that? And I said, I got 22 years in the game. And I just smiled. And, you know, both of those properties combined are probably worth about $180,000, maybe $200,000, okay? So it's a situation where, you know, you just got to put forth the effort and be smart about this thing and understand that the two things that will always prevent you from being successful is going to be your ego and your emotions, okay? I always have the ability to learn. Yesterday, I went and had lunch with a lady that she's got her hands in all kinds of different things. and nothing came out of the lunch except for a couple things that I could help her with. But you have no idea what's going to come down next week, 2 weeks, 6 months from now. Somebody might say, hey, I need this. Hey, you know what? I happen to know somebody that does that kind of thing. Let me give you their number. The thing about it is that always keeping that attitude of remaining teachable, humility. The quickest way to humility is through a series of humiliations. You know why? Because you become defeated and embarrassed, and then you say, okay, what next? Well, you don't have to be humiliated to say, okay, what next? You can actually be open. So, hope you have a very fantastic day. We got some bad weather coming and everything like that, so I'll probably end up doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing this weekend. Probably ain't gonna be out on the motorcycles, no jet skis, no, fat guy on the water skis or anything like that this weekend, but life is good. And I'm very blessed and thankful. Thank God for the life that I do have. And it's not the financial stuff and everything. That makes a difference, as far as not having to look at price tags and come and go as I please, so to speak. But, my life is so good, I don't want to die. I wake up every day looking forward to life, and there's a lot of people that don't. I still physically able to get out and do things and everything like that. And so I'm starting to take advantage of it. I got a couple trips planned. But again, create a life that you don't want a vacation from. Have a wonderful day. If you want 15 minutes of my time, there's an email in the description. Send me an email, send me a phone number. I will give you a call. You get 15 minutes of my time. If you want to debate and ask my opinion on something and then tell me why it won't work for you, all I'm going to do is agree with you. So your time is valuable. Make sure you use it wisely. Have a great day.